Gol. ¡Qué golazo acaba de marcar Ronaldo!
You know, when people think of Ronaldo Nazario, R9, o Fenômeno, they often think of the 2002 World Cup and that haircut, or all of the strange occurrences surrounding the 1998 World Cup final. But what came before that was truly outstanding, and something the world of football has rarely seen. A teenager that could be so dominant, such an unstoppable force, a teenager that passed both the eye test and had the stats to back it up.
You strap yourself in. You just sit down and watch the TV, and you know that something is going to happen at any given point.
As a youngster, Ronaldo was essentially a cheat code. From Cruzeiro to PSV to Brazil to Barcelona, you could drop him anywhere on any pitch and his impact would be felt immediately. There was no adjustments to the formation, no man marking or doubling up that coaches could employ to try to stop him. He was beyond tactics, beyond preparation, a force that simply couldn't be stopped. Well, until he was, but it wasn't by any player. It was injuries that wreaked havoc upon him. Certainly you're familiar with the story of the almost 3 years of hell that Ronaldo endured with multiple knee injuries before he made his return to win the World Cup with Brazil and get his second Ballon d'Or. But as beautiful a redemption arc that his second Ballon d'Or is, we're focusing on the first one. The trophy that was absolutely no contest, with Ronaldo receiving more votes than second, third, and fourth combined. You could throw fifth in there also, and they'd only beat Ronaldo by 13 votes. To this day, he is still the youngest recipient of the award. This Ballon d'Or is the one that fueled the comeback narrative of his second. This is Ronaldo, before the Ballon d'Or. Ronaldo has always maintained that his first love was futsal, and as a youngster he played for Social Club Ramos, no doubt where his technical ability on the ball was first developed. After a while, former Brazil international Jairzinho spotted Ronaldo and his talent and recommended that his former club, Cruzeiro, signed him. Ronaldo was 16 at the time. Still at 16, he would make his debut for Cruzeiro, just 3 months after arriving at the club, and things wouldn't slow down. From the end of the summer to the end of 1993, the recently turned 17-year-old scored 20 goals in 21 matches, and he didn't slow down. In the 1994 season, he scored 24 and 26 and earned himself a call-up to the Brazilian national team for the 1994 World Cup. He played and scored for Brazil in a friendly just before the tournament, but didn't feature in the World Cup at all. Still, he was part of the squad, the youngest member at 17, and was there for their fourth star. And you know what? It's a good time to call in a favor from somebody who is incredibly familiar with Ronaldo.
My name is Diego Lorain, Diego Lorin, Diego Lorin, depending on how you want to pronounce it in which language. I work for Barça One. I'm a presenter there. I present a daily news show called Barça News. I've been working at Barça, formerly known as Barça TV, for 5 years. Prior to that, I was at La Liga TV International.
Now, there's a reason why Diego was almost born for this particular video. Sorry, Diego, I won't minimize your great career to just being born for a Rabona TV video. But seriously, he's the perfect guy for this one.
My mom is Spanish from Barcelona. My father's Dutch. I am from Den Haag, born and raised in Holland. So there was already a huge, let's say, personal connection that I felt from early on with Barça.
You see what I mean? Diego, a Dutch Barcelona supporter with a Spanish mother who grew up in the time that Ronaldo was playing in the Netherlands, doing things that nobody had seen before.
I kind of get goosebumps even. The reason why the hair starts standing up when I think about somebody like Ronaldo is because all these memories from my younger years come to mind when Ronaldo's arrival even at PSV was just so celebrated. You have to think that before Ronaldo there was Romario,
which is in fact a perfect segue into explaining how Ronaldo ended up at PSV in the first place. There are stories of PSV scouts seeing Ronaldo play at Cruzeiro and simply writing how they had to sign him. But what pushed Ronaldo toward PSV was the time he'd spent with Romario at the World Cup. Romario had recently left PSV in 1993 after 5 years of ridiculous scoring feats. In all, he scored 128 goals in 149 matches. Silly numbers. Ronaldo and Romario had a close relationship, and Ronaldo has said that he felt like Romario knew that if anyone could outdo his scoring records, it was him. So after signing for PSV in '94, Ronaldo moved to Eindhoven, and he adapted pretty well culturally.
Gaat er niet dood aan, hoor. Ja.
but he adapted seamlessly on the pitch.
You know, this is an 18-year-old or 17-year-old Ronaldo Nazario in his first time away from Brazil, adjusting to a culture that can only be described as counter opposite from what he was used to. And he played the game like nobody did in that time.
And his impact was instant. Just as it took him no time to settle at Cruzeiro, he took no time to settle on the pitch with PSV as well, scoring just 10 minutes into his debut match at the end of August 1994.
He instantly became the headline, the main story on the news, you know, sport news at 6 o'clock. It was all about Ronaldo, and it was all about catching these glimpses, you know, these highlights that I was referring to that just left you dazzled and amazed. You couldn't wait to talk to your buddies the next day at school and in the playground, in the schoolyard, start trying to, you know, mimic and imitate Ronaldo. Everybody wanted to be Ronaldo. It was all Ronaldo. And again, I have to give him credit as well for his ability to adjust culturally and learn some Dutch, because that made him all the more approachable and likable, and people just loved him. He was a kid with a big smile that played football like we had never seen before.
And it wasn't just the supporters that hadn't seen someone play football like that before, it was also other players. I mean, spare a thought for the defenders who came up against him, as Ronaldo's speed and power would see him ghost by them time and time again. Not to mention his dribbling ability, a callback to his futsal days with his stepovers and elasticos that could see him get through any number of defenders who stood in his path, hypnotized by his movement. What he was doing numbers-wise had never been seen before either. You know, we all grew up in the Messi and Ronaldo era where we knew their achievements were unbelievable and unprecedented when it comes to scoring numbers, but it's hard to contextualize it. When you look at what Ronaldo Nazario was doing at Cruzeiro and then continued to do at PSV at just 18 years of age, 18, he was something else. Such a complete, unbelievable player at such a young age. He scored 35 goals in 36 matches for PSV in his first season, including a hat-trick against Bayer Leverkusen in the UEFA Cup, in which German marksman Rudi Völler's words have become ingrained in history when he said after the match, quote, "Never in my life have I seen an 18-year-old play in this way." But it was also at PSV where Ronaldo's infamous knee started to cause him issues. In his second season with the club, he played in just 21 matches, but still scored 19 goals. Despite this, PSV's 19-year-old was the most wanted player in the world, and so began a bidding war in order to recruit the young Ronaldo. The winner? FC Barcelona, who broke the transfer record at the time to sign Ronaldo for 15 million euros in the summer of 1996. Now, I mentioned him before, and it's worth mentioning again, this funny sort of relationship that Ronaldo and Romario had. Not only were they an incredible duo for Brazil, where they would later propel Brazil to the 1997 Copa America together, but Ronaldo followed Romario once again, first to PSV, then from PSV to Barcelona, mirroring the moves of the player that was 10 years his senior. Funnily enough, they never played together at PSV or Barcelona. Romario had moved on 1 year prior in each instance.
Ha pitado, ha señalado el final del partido. El Barcelona, campeón de Europa.
Barcelona had found a lot of success recently. They had already won 4 league titles in the 90s, as well as their first Champions League trophy. But they were at a pivot point in their history culturally. Gone was Cruyff's dream team. In fact, gone was Cruyff as well, someone who is part of the fabric of Barcelona's history.
Something that differentiates Madrid from Barca is that Barca is a lot more divided in that regard historically already. So in that time period, we had the Nuñistas, those that supported the club president, and the eventual dismissal of Johan Cruyff as a coach, to those that were Cruyffistas, you know, those that believed in Johan Cruyff and wanted him to continue. So that division, to have Ronaldo, a figure like him, bring us all together again to kind of, you know, again, propel us into this revolutionary time was very exciting. You know, his speed, that power, that finishing ability was unmatched. His impact was immediate, man. Immediate. You just knew this guy's it. We've got another phenomenon.
Ronaldo actually failed to score in his first 2 La Liga matches. What a scrub, eh? Unbelievable. But he did get assists in those matches. But once the fuse was lit, he couldn't be stopped. 47 goals and 13 assists in just 49 appearances for Barca, and the moments he provided are unbelievable. He packed so many iconic moments into a single season, such as the goal that would be etched into football history, the Compostela goal. It was 2-0 at the time, in the 35th minute, when Ronaldo produced a goal that you've surely seen before.
Midway, arrancando, like starting his motor at the halfway line, getting his shirt tucked, players nipping at his heels, slide tackles, nothing can stop the guy. He's just on a mission, like a man possessed, to get from one end to the field to the other end, switching legs. The ball nearly escapes him, but he gets it in with his right foot, slides it past the goalkeeper for just an astonishing goal. Iconic moments like that where you see those images of Bobby Robson holding his head, hands to his head, just can't believe what he's just witnessed out on the field.
That goal was scored in just his 7th La Liga match. He had turned 20 less than a month prior. 2 weeks later, he treated the world to another iconic goal of his.
He splits into the two Valencia defenders, splits the defenders to score what was an absolute unforgettable hat-trick in the game. One of many memorable and historic games between Barça and Valencia in the Camp Nou at that time.
By the end of the calendar year of 1996, Ronaldo was voted as the FIFA Player of the Year, with Nike celebrating the occasion with a famous commercial that showed his Compostela goal with text saying, "What if you asked God to make you the best soccer player in the world?" And he was actually listening. And in the 1996 Ballon d'Or, he finished second by a single vote. Matthias Sammer of Borussia Dortmund had 144, Ronaldo had 143. It can't get any closer. No bother though, as 20-year-old Ronaldo would continue to cook up magic in Spain, such as his role in Barcelona's 5-4 comeback versus Atletico Madrid. Barcelona were losing 3-0 at halftime in the second leg of their Copa del Rey quarterfinal. After the half, by the time the 50th minute had struck, Ronaldo had scored 2 goals, making it 3-2. He'd later score another to make it 4-4 before Juan Antonio Pizzi got the winner in the 83rd minute. Unbelievable moments. That summer, Ronaldo scored 5 goals and picked up 2 assists in Brazil's Copa America triumph. Again, he was yet to turn 21. You cannot forget this. I'll keep slamming it in your face if I have to. You can understand why he was nicknamed Il Fenômeno later in his career. But in December of 1997, when Ronaldo was indeed 21 years old man, eh? He won the Ballon d'Or in a vote that was, in these terms, virtually unanimous. Now the thing is, when he won the Ballon d'Or, even though it was for his exploits at Barcelona, he wasn't a Barcelona player at the time. No, Ronaldo was continuing to torch opponents, but in Serie A. So you may be wondering, why? Why leave Barcelona where he had done something so special? Well, that situation deserves an entire video of its own, as we're here to talk about Ronaldo's Ballon d'Or winning season. Maybe we'll do that in the future. And so all of this talk of the unbelievable, of what he achieved as a guy who had just turned 20 at Barcelona, certainly begs the question of all the incredible, naturally gifted players that have passed through FC Barcelona, where does Ronaldo rank?
I'm talking Ronaldinho, I'm talking Messi, and I'm talking Ronaldo. Those 3 for me are the most naturally gifted players that I have ever seen play at Barça. Where you throw them the ball, you strap yourself in. You just sit down and watch the TV, and you know that something is going to happen at any given point. Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, and Messi were, for me, in my lifetime, in my over 3 decades of watching football, and Barça in particular, the 3 that had the most raw, natural talent at playing this game and making defenders look silly. I mean, it's boys against men. It's that simple, really. At any given moment, you get a spark of brilliance.
And the funny thing is, who do Ronaldinho and Messi name as their football idol? Ronaldo, of course. With Messi noting how he was the best striker he's ever seen, with his speed and ability to strike the ball better than anyone else. You know, if you could go back in time and somehow magically undo the damage that was done to one player's career thanks to injuries, I imagine that a lot of people would use those powers to give Ronaldo a stronger knee, so that he didn't have to be confined to just those magical years prior to his knee injuries. He was still an incredible player after that, but the Ronaldo from before the injuries was out of this world. Before his 21st birthday, he had scored 145 goals in just 153 club appearances. And it wasn't just the volume, but the way in which he scored those goals, the way he played.
The crowd just absolutely stunned, or in Ronaldo's case, Bobby Robson at the sidelines, holding his head, looking at the heavens, going, what the hell did I just witness? What is that? What was that? That's what Ronaldo was.